stitching friends, I'm Amy. I'm the Globetrotting Stitcher, and I am here today with Gary, also a Globetrotting Stitcher. And we hope that you're doing well today. So apologies for the awkward introduction. In one of our recent videos, one of you asked us why it is that when I kind of open and greet and say hello to everyone, I don't mention Gary. And I thought, well, that's actually a really great question. And it just kind of goes back to the early days of our channel when Gary wasn't making a regular appearance. Actually, Gary wasn't making an appearance at all when we first started. And I think even though, over time he's become more and more of a part of the channel and has, is stitching himself, we just never thought about kind of changing our greeting and kind of making it from both of us. So we're going to try and change that going forward. But yes, I'm Amy and that's Gary. Or you'll see Gary, I guess I should say. So anyway, if you are finding us for the first time, welcome. We hope that you enjoy what we have to share with you today. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you again. As we always say, we really appreciate all of you who share some of your time with us every few weeks. So thanks for coming back. And I'm hoping that today I'm not scattered in our video. Today is one of those days, like, I know we all have them, but today is one of those days that has not gone to plan. So yeah, it's just the way life is. And so, yeah, hopefully you won't experience that at all in our video today. So I want to start by just saying a huge thank you to everybody. Our last video that we posted was kind of our 4-year anniversary video. So we have been officially making these for 4 years, which is wild. And so many of you left kind comments just congratulating us on making it to 4 years and telling us how much you've enjoyed the channel. And many of you have been with us from the very beginning. And so just want to say thank you so much for your kind words. We really appreciated it. And as I've said many times, we're so thankful that so many of you spend time with us. We're thankful for the friendships that we've developed through this channel. There are many of you who regularly leave comments for us. We recognize your names. There are a number of you that we've had the great pleasure to meet either out in the wild or through meetup opportunities or at StitchCon. And so just want to say thank you. We really do feel like all of you and the interactions that we get to have with you through the channel or because of the channel really enrich our lives and enrich our ability to be a part of this community. So thank you for making it worth our time and all the work that goes into making videos. We really appreciate you sharing this journey with us. Okay, so a couple of shout outs to channels that I wanted to mention. I've recently kind of connected with a couple of local stitchers. One is a channel that I have been watching for a long time and I should have shouted her out ages ago because I really enjoy her. But we've only just recently kind of connected and exchanged a few messages, and that is Megan, the Seattle Stitcher. I can't imagine that any of you haven't discovered Megan because she's absolutely delightful. But if you haven't, please go check her channel out. She is like bubbly and full of joy, and she stitches beautiful things. And I want to say I found her channel either right after she started making videos or I've been following her for quite some time now and have really enjoyed watching her and seeing what she's up to. And she's just a lovely person. So, but Megan recently shouted us out. And so I'm hoping that she and I will have a chance to meet up and stitch together at some point in time. If you watch her channel, you know that she's got a wee one who is still at that very young baby stage. But as he gets a little bit older, hopefully we'll have a chance to connect. So thank you, Megan, for the lovely shout out. And all of you, if you haven't discovered Megan, please go check her out. The other stitcher I want to share with you is someone that a newer Flosstuber. She's only got a couple of episodes out. And I happened to see one that was suggested in my YouTube feed. And so I like to check out new channels and support new channels. And so I was like, well, I'll just go check her out. And so this is Rebecca from Beck Stitches Everything. And so I'm sitting here and I'm watching her, and she's kind of, was her first episode. She did a whip parade. She's stitching a lot of beautiful things. I was really enjoying just, she's very good in front of the camera, and that's always, Always nice to watch. And she seemed like she was, she said that she was nervous. I thought that she came across as being very comfortable. And I know how hard it is when you first start making videos. It's like you have to get into the groove of it, but she seemed like she slipped right into that quickly. Anyway, so I'm listening to her first video and she was talking and she mentioned that she was a Seattle area stitcher. And I was like, yay, there's another one of us. And then she said something about picking her husband up from the ferry. And I was like, what? Because Gary and I live in a community that is served by one of the Seattle ferries. And so when you hear that somebody has to catch a ferry, you're like, there's only a few locations that person can kind of be. And so I left her a comment just saying, something about referencing, hey, I think we live in, probably the same area. We also have a ferry. Rebecca lives, after kind of exchanging some messages, it turns out she lives like less than 10 minutes from us, which was wild to me. I was just like, I know I've driven by where, her area, I've driven through her part of our town many times. So she's literally a neighbor. You guys should see what I'm seeing right now. Like Summer is up on Gary's lap and giving kisses and being a monkey. Anyway, I really enjoyed her channel and I love the fact that she's like practically in my backyard. So I'm confident that we will meet and stitch together at some point in time. But anyway, if you also have not found Rebecca's channel, please go check out Beck Stitches Everything. She is really enjoyable. I'm about to have a visit here. She's really enjoyable and I think you're gonna really, really like her. She's got a lot of beautiful projects. Okay, that's a lot of like intro and I'm not done with kind of a few opening remarks. So just stick with me here. As far as like some personal updates, we've had a lot going on the last couple of weeks, which is why we're a little bit late on posting our video. So first of all, we had another family birthday. So Sophie turned 8 at the beginning of June. And so we did a little like family birthday celebration for her and she had a little birthday crown because Sophie's a princess. And of course got nice birthday snacks and all the things. I actually made doggy cupcakes for them. And it was like a special, like a chicken broth cupcake with peanut butter frosting, which sounds absolutely disgusting if you ask me, but they were pretty excited about them. So that was fun. And then I got the dogs out for a hike down to the beach, which was really nice. They had a blast. I don't know if it was Summer's first time to the beach, but it was certainly her first time to the beach with me. And she was like really excited about it. She had a really good time. So that's been fun. And then as far as other things coming up, I am off to Kenya again in a couple of days now, leaving at the end of this week. And I should have some fun things to share with you when I get home from that trip, because I know that we're going to be going on a field visit. So this time I am going to be in the Mombasa area, which if you know Kenya, it's on the coast. And visiting a maze project that I'm helping to manage. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into the field. I apologize if you hear any background noise. Summer is a lot less sedate than Bear and Sophie, so she's playing with a toy right now. If you hear any like, dog growls, she's just having a good time with her little octopus. So, all right, that's enough like non-stitchy stuff. Let's dive into the whips. So the first thing I have to show you is my wild card part of my rotation. I am stitching Cabin Fever by Dimensions Gold Collection. I'm using the kit fabric and floss. The last time that you saw this project, I had made some good progress. I'd been working in the second story in the left side of the cabin. And so you had, a bit of a porch that was emerging up on that. And then the big windows that full of light kind of shining out, really pretty. So I had worked on that. And then over on the left side of the project, I was continuing to fill in the background underneath the deer, getting into some beautiful pink flowers that you couldn't quite see it yet, but there's a pond that's going to be coming in, toward the middle part of the bottom of the project. So I was stitching kind of the left-hand side meadow, more of that, as well as some of the background in the trees above the pond. Oh my goodness. You guys, I went with the first project, the wrong project first. I apologize. See, today has not gone to plan. So let me get the right project on the board here. Oh, gracious. Okay. Cabin fever. And thank you, Summer. All right, here's where we are right now. So as you can see, I had the little bit that I had left to do in that second story of the cabin, I did finish and then worked my way down and started filling in some of this lower level of the cabin. I filled in all the way down to the bottom of the design here in this section of the meadow. So we've got a nice chunk that's completely done, this whole section, minus some of the back stitch. I did do a bit of the back stitch over in here. It's not finished because there's a lot of back stitch and French knots in that area, but you get the hint of the kind of the fronds of grass, which is, I don't know, spears of grass, whatever it is, but you kind of get the hint of that through the back stitch. Anyway, filled in more of that, filled in a fair bit more of the background here, and really started getting into doing some of the initial section of the pond here with these pale blue stitches that are going to be water. Got more of our flowers in, and then of course stitched in more of the background up here, getting down toward the top of the pond and the dock. The other thing that I got to do is I finally started filling in this little section of sky that I hadn't gotten to yet. I'm still not done with it, but we now have like a continuous line coming over here, not all the way to the far right side of the project along the top yet, but definitely getting there and making progress. So this one was a lot of fun to work on. It's really enjoyable, and I'm really loving it as I get closer to that 50% mark. I'm thinking I'll probably hit 50% the next time this one comes out. So that for me was really exciting. All right, next project that I'm gonna show you is the one that was on my board initially, and that is rose trellising. So this is my full coverage piece that I'm working on. It is by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I am stitching it on a piece of 28 count white Lugana 2/1 using a combination of half stitch and continental stitch. So the last time you saw this, I had started stitching in the face of the lady who is welcoming people to the inn. So she's standing between the entry doors. And yeah, welcoming people to the inn. And so I had finished stitching in her head. I was starting to stitch in her dress, but you couldn't really see that part of it yet. I had, let's see, there's a flower pot. So to the left side of the front steps of the inn, there's like a flower pot that's sitting at the top of one of the railing posts, beautiful red and pinks. So I had stitched that in. And I had stitched in most of the walkway that's coming from the side door around to the front walkway, and more of that kind of background of the garden that's there. So let me show you where it is now. I apologize. I had this like all straight and beautiful on this board, and it's going to be a bit crooked, but we just go with it, right? All right. So here's how she is looking right now. I really enjoyed working on this, made really good progress. So as you can see, I have now finished this door here completely, stitched down through quite a bit of the woman. You can now see her basket of flowers that she's carrying on her arm. Stitched the top half of her dress and just have a little bit of the bottom of her dress to do. Also started stitching down through the right front door. And then got down into this kind of section here on that front step. And you can see I'm almost done stitching. There's a little kitty cat that is sitting by the lady. And it's a little bit hard to see just because, you know, the design is fairly pixelated. But you can tell in the original kind of art print that this was based on, the kitty cat is like waving its paw to say hello. So I've stitched most of that cat, just a few stitches to finish up there. Finished this post here, or almost finished this post that the flower pot is sitting on. And then as we come down these front steps, which I filled in more of, there's this beautiful white and yellow alternating pots of flowers that are sitting on the steps coming down. So I've finished stitching most of those. And then underneath my parked threads, you can kind of see the brick lining of the walkway that goes out to the bottom of the design. I've started stitching that in as well as more grass. So this is coming along. Again, really enjoyed it. This one had quite a bit of confetti this last time I stitched it. So I think my actual stitch count completed was a little bit lower, but what I got done, I felt like was fairly high impact. So yeah, and this row of pages is going to be heavy in confetti all the way through. But let's see, I also crossed a milestone with this. I think I'm now past 75% complete, which is super exciting to me. So we're getting to the home stretch. By the end of next year, I think we have a decent shot at having this done. So that's rose trellising. So I think I've done enough talking, and it's time to give Gary a chance to share what he's been working on.
All right, so I'm working on Wonder Woman, as you know, Wonder Woman it's a cross stitch bay, which is an Etsy shop, and I'm doing it in 16 count Pewter with most of the called for flosses. There's a teal blue in her hair. I don't remember what the number that is, but we swapped it out for DMC 517. I remembered that. Anyway, so like I say, that's the Wonder Woman that I'm working on. The last time you saw it, I think I started filling in her leg with, I guess it's called the flesh color for her now. But at any rate, so that's what I had done. Anyway, here's what it looks like now. So basically, I have, as I mentioned in the last time we met, I finished this page. So after this page, I can go on to do page 1. This is weird because for whatever reason, we started with page 2. I don't know why, but we did. So I'm going to go back now and do page 1. But either way, that page is completely done. I only have 3 more to do on that. As far as Louis Armstrong goes, we could talk about it, but that would not change the situation. Meaning I haven't done anything on it. And it's mostly because I got a hang up about using this electronic device to do this. I love electronics. I'm a gadget hound, but I do like to stay away from them if I don't need to be around them. Anyway, that's a story for another time, perhaps a video or documentary or something. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that topic. And as far as the action figure, this is taken from The Simpsons. I don't know if they still have the character, but he's like this bumblebee guy. And I got him because he's a bumblebee guy. And he has a movie camera. That was it. Anyway, so that's the action figure for today. Amy can start talking anytime.
No, don't pressure me. So I have another whip to show you. And that is my fancy lady. So I am working on Rose of Sharon by Mirabilia. I am stitching her on a piece of 32 count Meadowview Lugana by Fabric Flair. So this is a printed fabric. And oh, you guys, she's so beautiful. So the last time you saw her, I had hit what felt like, I wouldn't say a milestone, but I got a big section kind of out of the way that felt like it was weighing on me. And that is at the top part of the arch that the woman is standing under. It's just really dense, and there's a cherub and a lot of flowers and greenery. So I had finished kind of that top middle section of stitching, and just started to branch out more toward the right and the left to work my way down the 2 arches that, or the 2 sides of the arch that surround her. I had made some really nice progress on the bustle of her dress and working my way down through that. And then also the front section of her skirt. So here's where she is right now. She is one, I made noticeable progress on her, but not as much as I would have liked. This last week was just long days at work, and a busy weekend. And so she got the progress she got. So as you can see, I've carried this arch down I did a little bit more of this kind of flower and greenery here, and then of course carried the two sides of the arch down, and then got into this kind of, I don't know that I would call it a medallion, but it's a sort of decorative element in the middle of the arch. So I did that, excuse my hanging thread, and then started working my way over to this side more. So filled in a lot of this greenery and flowers here, and started getting some hints of that side of the arch as the side goes down. So enjoyed that. And then of course continued to work on her skirt. So I'm made more progress filling in the back of her bustle back here, or the draping coming off of her bustle, and then filled in more of the this kind of dense stitching at the front of her skirt. So she is definitely making good progress, coming along, and yeah, she's really beautiful. This chart was one of my unicorns, and I remember seeing it for years in shops, or in our one local cross stitch shop, and always loved it, and for some reason never picked it up. And then when I decided I absolutely had to stitch it, it was no longer available. Like, you just couldn't find it for love or money. And so I was really thankful, because a couple of years ago, our friend Sarah, who's been a longtime viewer and friend, gifted it to me. And so I'm so happy that I get to stitch this, because she is really lovely. So that is my Rose of Sharon. So that is it for whips that you know. I do have a teeny tiny new start that's almost not worth showing you, but I'm going to show you anyway, because I did get it started. And so I have started a new project. I mentioned this, I think it was in our last update video, saying that I was going to be stitching a gift for my niece, who is, she's turning 13 later this year. She is, as she's growing and maturing, she is entering her Taylor Swift era. She's becoming a Taylor Swift fan. And so I wanted to just make a little something special for her birthday. And so I have started a project. It's a small project. It's called Swifty. This is a chart by Simple Waves Studio, which is an Etsy shop. And I am going to be stitching it on a piece of 32 count opalescent raspberry smash linen by Vintage Needle Arts. That's also an Etsy shop, so we'll link those both below. And so here is my start of roughly 20 stitches. I think there's like actually 22 if you count closely. But that's what she looks like so far. So I am using just DMC Etoile. I'm using the 310 or C310, the Etoile version of the black DMC. And yeah, she's coming along. So, but this one is a very small chart. I think it's like 300 and something stitches in total. So this one will probably be finished. In fact, I'd be shocked if this is not finished by the time we film our next update. So I wanted to show you the start on it so you can see the finished version next time. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, so that's it for projects. We're going to do something really quickly on this channel that we don't typically do a lot of, and that is a product review. One of the things that Gary and I both, we're doing our channel because we want to interact with the community. We want to share our stitching. And we're really not, we never started our channel with the intention of kind of making a sales pitch or making money or any of those kind of things. We just want to be a part of the community and share our stitching. And that's not a reflection on anybody who uses their channel to do those things. But it's one of the reasons why over the years, we've only very seldom done an actual product review on this channel, because our goal in having a channel is not to pitch stuff. And we know that a lot of you are just here to see the stitching. Saying that, every now and then...
That's just her way of saying we don't make any money on this channel. We're giving it away. Here you go.
Here you go.
It's yours now.
So anyway, but every now and then something does come along that we're like, that's good enough to share. And so this is a product that I think many of you have already seen on a number of other Flosstube channels. It's something that I have actually wanted to try out for a very long time. So I was really excited when they reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in trying their product and doing a review. And the hype is real, my friends. If you have seen the BenQ Ereading, let me see, make sure. I want to make sure I get the BenQ Ereading desk lamp, which is it's a more updated version of the BenQ lamps that came out a couple of years ago, I think. Like I said, I've seen other floss tubers review this product, and all of them have talked about how much they really like it. So when they reached out to me and said, would you like to? I was like, yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to give this a try. It looks fantastic. And it is. It is a really, really fantastic product. So first of all, the shipping and the receiving of it process was really smooth, which things like that doesn't always go smoothly. And so I really appreciated that they communicated very well with me, and the product came very quickly. A couple of things about this lamp. So first of all, it is a sizable lamp. And depending on where you're going and what the setting is, I don't know that it's necessarily a great lamp for like a retreat kind of stitching, but it is a fantastic lamp for home crafting. So one of the reasons that I was particularly excited about trying this light out is because Gary and I have just recently been changing over Gary's son's old bedroom. His son is, no longer comes to stay because he's grown and doing his own thing. And so he very seldom actually comes to stay. And so we decided to repurpose his old bedroom and turn it into a craft room and office for me. And one of the things that I have complained about with regards to this room is there's one light in this room. It is an overhead can light that, and it's often kind of a side of the room where it's just not very useful. And this room tends to be really dark. It has a nice, big, beautiful, bright window. So if I set up my sewing machine in front of the window during daylight hours, I could generally sew without an issue. But aside from that, if it's a dark day or if it's evening, it was just not reasonable to try and stitch or do any crafting in the room. And so I was really excited to see if this light would work well for me in that context, especially for sewing and quilting and things like that. And it does. It is a good size lamp. So one of the things that's really great is it's got like an ultra wide coverage that it provides. In addition to that, it's got the double arm feature so that you can, stretch it out farther or put it up higher and move it around and really position it where you need it, which I found to be really useful. So I used this over the weekend. I did a little bit of sewing and it was fantastic. I was able to move it around very easily and get it right into the position that it was going to shed the light where I needed it on my project. Gave me a nice wide space that it was covering. So that it was really fantastic for that. It's a good, it's not lightweight, it's good quality, really durable. It's not something that's just going to easily tip over. So mine came on the regular base, which is nice and heavy. Like I said, it won't tip over, but they do have optional attachments that you can get for it. Like, oh, Gary, what's that called?
Clamp.
No, the Swifty vice thingy,
Well, you could call it a vice or you could call it a clamp.
Clamp. Oh, you said clamp. I thought you said lamp. Sorry. A clamp. So mine didn't come with a clamp, but you can stop doing the clampers. But you can get a clamp attachment so that you can screw it onto a surface. One of the things that I also like about the arm feature is that I can use it with my sewing machine. And then if I want to go sit in another part of the room, not like way across the room, but in another part of the room and not behind my desk where I would have my sewing machine, I could just turn it and use it as a cross-stitching lamp as well. So it's really versatile. It's really sturdy. It's also got a lot of flexibility as far as options for the kind of lighting that you want. So it gave me plenty of light to be able to stitch in a dark space. I think I mentioned that. There's also a lot of versatility around like the temperature of the color of the light. So you can go from like a very cool, or even like almost bluish tone of light all the way up to a very warm or orangish tone of light. And there's quite a spectrum within that. 13 color temperature levels, that's what the notes said, and then 23 different brightness levels. So you have a lot of flexibility, not only in the warmth or the coolness of the light, but the brightness of the light, which I found to be really useful. And you can control all of that with a little knob or with the touch of a finger on the lamp. So that was really great. It does have special eye care technology to help reduce eye fatigue, which I can tell you as a person who sits in front of a laptop for 8 to 12 hours a day, depending on what work looks like on any given day. Reducing eye fatigue is a fantastic bonus for me. The only thing, and this is not a complaint, just given what the light is, the size of it, what it's intended for, it is a plug-in. So it does just plug into a wall for power. I think it would give you just a little bit more versatility, especially for those who might want to take something that's a little bit larger to a retreat. Having the option for USB charging might be nice as a feature in a future version of that. But that is not a criticism, because again, the light is really intended for like a crafting room in a stable environment. So all of that to say, I thought this was a great product. I am absolutely 100% pleased with it. And if you have been thinking about trying out the BenQ light, this is a great time to do it. Like I said, I know other floss tubers have given this a try, really loved it. And I think I can add my voice to the chorus and saying, check out this product. It is a really good product. I think it is absolutely, it is an investment. It is not an inexpensive product, but I think it is, the price point for the quality is spot on. So 2 thumbs up. Okay, so that's it for product review. We're going to wrap it up now. I'll tell you really quickly what we're going to be working on for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll let you get on to the next video. So Gary's going to continue to plug away on Wonder Woman, as he said. I think he's also going to try and get back to working on Louis Armstrong. I am, as I said, going to be traveling. So first of all, I'm going to spend a few days working on my seasonal project, which is Honey Gardens. And then after that, while I'm traveling, I am taking 2 projects with me. So one of those is my De Farben Venedig, or the Colors of Venice, by Historische Stickmuster. So that will be going with me to Kenya. And then I will also be taking my new project Swifty for working on the plane, because I think that'll work well for plane stitching. And then if possible, we'll be continuing to work on my weekend project, which is Butterfly Port Mauve. So all of that being said, we hope that you all are doing well. We hope that, that you are enjoying your stitching, that the frog is staying away. If you enjoy our videos, please do give us a thumbs up. And please feel free to leave a comment. We read all of the comments and we really enjoy hearing from you. You're welcome to send us email between videos to globetrottingstitcher@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, also globetrotting_stitcher. And so I think that's it for us for today. So thank you for sharing your day with us, and we look forward to seeing you really soon. Take care and happy stitching, guys. Bye.